Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Frederic Silva. I'm the head of Test and Measurement Business Unit at Syntony. Welcome, and thank you for joining us to our Syntony Roundtable session. Within the next 15 minutes, we're going to address this specific topic, how to tackle GNSS space challenges with simulation, and more specifically, how to tackle GNSS challenges encountered with LEO satellite constellations. We all know already about geosatellite constellations. They are well known for many decades, but more recently, LEO satellite constellations have been tremendously expanding over the last years and expected to boost over the next decade to a quite impressive number of 17,000 LEO satellites. It's not yet a space traffic jam, but it is already quite a number. What are we expecting from this mega constellation? First, network densification delivering up to 150 terabytes per second bandwidth capacity and lowering standard satellite latency from 280 milliseconds with GEO satellites to 20 milliseconds with LEO satellites. Second, boosting commercial and defense application, including broadband, Earth observation, and communication for the IoT market, the 5G, the PNT corrections, which are going to be the main market drivers supporting this growth. However, with LEO satellites, multiple new challenges showed up and require significant GNSS testing expertise to be tackled. And at Syntony, this has been a major source of inspiration and innovation steps, which have been possible thanks to a tight collaboration with world space leaders. You will find some of them which are being displayed on your screen below. In a nutshell, Syntony has been delivering over the years GNSS simulation capabilities from its high-end and high-fidelity simulators called Constellator, now embracing its fourth generation. Today, we're going to focus on three main challenges encountered in LEO satellites. A first step with ionosphere 3D effects modelization. There is a second step with LEO space trajectories modelization through available open-loop trajectories directly within Constellator or through hardware-in-the-loop with zero effective latency for a perfect trajectory control. Last but not least, with the third step, we are going to focus also with MEO and GEO satellites because they have some challenges already. One of them is configuration of satellite antenna diagrams, including secondary lobes representation. Joining me for this session is Mr. Sylvain Daubas. He is our Constellator Simulator Product Manager. He will run the simulation, explain step-by-step the process, and provide to our audience results and insights. At the end of the sessions, as a conclusion, more application and markets will be quickly detailed. And of course, if you have any questions, we have a link below. Make sure to check it out, and we will be pleased to support you with any of your GNSS simulation challenges. For now, let's quickly get to these three demos, 3 steps with Sylvain.
Hi everyone, my name is Sylvain Daubas and I'm in charge of the GNSS simulators team in the Research and Development Department in Syntony. Today we will discuss some challenges faced by space receivers and the way Constellator allows to manage them. One first challenge is the representation of the ionosphere effect on the GNSS signals. Constellator provides several standard models to represent ionosphere effects. Constantec model, Klobuchar, which is the standard for GPS system, NIQUIC, which is the standard for Galileo system, and the grid model, which is standard for SBAS and IRNSS. The issue with this model is that they were designed for ground-based application, and they are layer model in the sense that all the electrons are supposed to be only on one layer. This is obviously not representative of reality, but it is perfectly fine for ground applications. However, when a receiver crosses those ionospheric layers or is standing above those layers, this is clearly not representative of the effects on the GNSS signals that the receiver would see. To manage this issue, or this challenge, Santoni developed for Constellator 3D extensions of these models, which basically start from the standard model, in this case the Klobuchar model, and spread the electrons in altitude with a parametric function, a Chapman profile, in order to have a 3D representation of the total electron content or the electron density at each point in latitude, longitude, and altitude. Based on this model, the ionospheric delay applied to each signal would be computed on the exact electron density along the line of sight. So this allows to have models that are consistent with the standard models, in this case the Klobuchar model, when the receiver is on ground or for an aircraft, and to have a continuous model and representative model when the receiver crosses the ionospheric layers or is above the ionospheric layer, especially for launchers that will start their trajectory on ground and will end way above the ionospheric layers, or for low Earth orbit or medium Earth orbit for satellites that will have several signals coming from low elevation, so crossing those ionospheric, and that will have a significant ionosphere effect. We need for this use case to represent accurately the ionospheric effects on the signal, and those models provide this kind of accuracy. One challenge when testing space receivers is to be able to accurately represent its trajectory. Constellator has been developed with satellite manufacturers and space industries. For them, a Keplerian representation of the orbit was clearly not enough. So to satisfy their needs, we develop advanced force models to accurately represent several effects that apply on a trajectory for a satellite orbiting Earth. To set a space trajectory in Constellator, you can set the initial position and velocity, either by directly setting the initial position and velocity, or setting the Keplerian parameters of the initial tangent Keplerian orbit. And you can have a look at the preview of the ground track. So, when you have set the initial position and velocity, the trajectory will be computed using numerical integration of dynamic equations, and these dynamic equations take into account several forces. Our model takes into account the Earth's gravitational field up to the order 40. It also takes into account the lunar gravitational perturbation, so the moon gravitational perturbation, and the sun gravitational perturbation. It takes into account the solar pressure, which is more relevant for GEO orbit, but not so much for LEO orbit. But for LEO orbit, what is really relevant is the representation of atmospheric drags. All these effects are taken into account in the model defining our open loop trajectories and are available to our clients. So by default, you can have a very accurate open loop trajectory. If you need more control on the trajectory, either to represent different gravitational fields or take into account one effect or another, or to represent orbital maneuvers or attitude control, Constellator propose another interface, hardware in the loop, where you can either upload a pre-configured trajectory with very accurate precision in one mode, and in the other mode, in real time, send the trajectory parameters to Constellator that will take them into account in the simulation with zero effective latency. These modes allows to very accurately represent the satellite trajectory or the space receiver trajectories, which is a significant challenge for space industries and testing space receivers. Okay, and now I will talk a bit about the GNSS satellite antenna gain patterns. The GNSS satellites are mainly focusing their power toward Earth. So depending on your position, you may either receive a strong signal if you're in the main beam or a low signal if you're outside. For low Earth orbit, this will not have a strong impact as you will always almost be on the main beam. But for medium Earth orbit or geo orbits, this is something you want to test before launching your satellite. To do so, Constellator provides an editor of antenna gain patterns that I will show quickly, where you can set a precision down to 1 degree if you need to, and where you can set the exact value of attenuation depending on the elevation and on the azimuth. So depending where the GNSS satellite is pointing to. You can preview the antenna gain pattern directly in the interface. So this is what would a GPS L1CA antenna gain pattern would look like. You have a main beam, which is almost homogeneous in azimuth, and you can have side lobes where you would receive RF signal with lower power, but still some power. These antenna gain patterns in Constellator can be set either the same antenna gain pattern for all satellites. You just need to click on set for all, and all satellites will have the same antenna gain pattern. Or if you want extra precision, you can set different antenna gain patterns for different satellites. So for different satellites, and you can have several antenna gain patterns depending on the frequency band and on the signal. Obviously, this editor is also available to design the antenna gain pattern of the receiver And this is how you would test the antenna pattern effects in Constellator.
Thank you, Sylvain, for these 3 demos with this valuable simulation insight shared to our audience. Thank you very much. This concludes now our presentation on how to tackle GNSS space challenges with simulation. As promised, there is one more thing. GNSS space challenges are not the only ones which can be tackled with simulation. Constellator is also being used every day to solve many other GNSS testing applications, which are not limited to space. Recently, more commercial and defense markets are being driven by new requirements, and here are a few ones. Autonomous vehicles, from ground, air, or maritimes, they require much better position accuracy at a minimum of 20 centimeters, a very low latency, a tight coupling with other navigation sensors such as LiDAR, radar, IMUs, video, electrosonic. There is also the 5G network requiring a much higher timing accuracy at a nanosecond level. Critical infrastructures and defense national requirements, they all need a much better protection from GNSS interferences, jamming, and spoofing, within standard antenna or CRPA configurations. Related to CRPA specifically, they can be performed within two forms: conducted as a wavefront or over the air within an anechoic chamber. In terms of GNSS signal simulator, Constellator can simulate commercial up to military signals. In a nutshell, Constellator will be able to provide detailed insights to our customers, integrating PNT capabilities within their appliances or systems to better augment and maintain GNSS navigation, to confirm timing accuracy and resiliency, and to support their innovation technologies tackling GNSS interferences. As a matter of fact, Syntony is already displaying GNSS SDRs, software-defined radio technologies, including GNSS receivers, testing system, including record and playback and simulation appliances, GNSS interferences, including detection, filtering, and localization appliances and systems. If you want to know more, please contact us or click here. Thank you very much for attending this session, and talk to you all very soon.